Hi everyone! So after 24 days, this is the first day that I'm not going anywhere to see the city, go hiking or anything. I'm taking a little rest day working and need to catch up on some things. I'm only going to head into Miami Beach for dinner in the evening. However, so that we don't run out of videos today, I'm making a special edition on building services. For those who don't know, I'm a building services engineer, and I've come across quite a few interesting things during my journey that I find fascinating. I know many of my building services friends and colleagues watch the channel, so I'm doing this segment to share these engineering curiosities with them and anyone else who's interested. We're not going to talk about how standards or design regulations differ here, but rather about noticeable differences that stand out to a traveler who enjoys building services. If you're not into toilet-related topics or find them uninteresting, feel free to skip the next 2 minutes. We won't be talking about things like how the standards or design regulations differ here, but about things that are obvious differences to a traveler who likes building engineering. If you're not into toilet-related topics or they don't interest you, feel free to skip the next 2 minutes. One of the most noticeable differences from a building services perspective between Europe and America is the toilet. At first glance, it might not even be obvious that this toilet works completely differently than the ones we have in Europe. However, if we lift the lid, it can be quite noticeable that the water level in the toilet is much higher. There's not just water down in the narrow part, but also much higher up. And yes, this is the case in every American toilet. There is a reason for that, and we see the next difference when we flush the toilet. Because this toilet sucks out water and all other substances from the toilet. I'll show you how it works. I prepared 2 of these clean toilet papers here. Now I'll show you how quickly it sucks everything in. Completely, almost all the water goes out and then refills, but much less water comes from above, so it doesn't wash away the contents of the toilet, but sucks them out. And you can see there's even a hole in it, and it sends the water in through there, which pushes the whole thing. If you are curious about how the American siphonic toilet works, watch the video in the description. The second interesting thing is that almost every building here has sprinklers, from the smallest to the largest. And I photographed this in Silicon Valley, but it's generally common elsewhere too. On the street outside the buildings, there are these large shut-off and check valves with electronic actuators. You don't have to worry about the frost in this area. This natural gas pipeline design, although it may not be taken over by the gas utilities, seems quite dangerous. It's not a direct building mechanical system, but rather a household appliance that connects to it. It is noticeable that they work with quite large machines. The stove, washing machine, and dryer are much larger than in Europe, but they are done much faster, with a washing program taking about 25 minutes and a drying cycle taking 40 minutes. Here at the Tampa Hotel, there is a window air conditioner like this. It can heat, cool. It cools the room very quickly, but it can be a bit drafty, even on the lowest setting, which is annoying. So I turn it off at night. This is what it looks like from the outside. Here is the external heat exchanger. Here in the southern, warmer states, there's not much emphasis placed on the quality of doors and windows. Single pane glazing is usually sufficient. Well, not in this place, but there was another accommodation where the door had rubber seals around it, and there was a big gap at the bottom. In this hotel, the heating and cooling are managed with a system like this. The outdoor units of heat pumps are almost everywhere, so about 90% of them have this top discharge version. In percentage, this is the top discharge version for both smaller and larger machines, often just carelessly placed on gravel, connected with flexible tubing. It's rare to see the side discharge outdoor units that are more common back home. I haven't come across a handheld showerhead anywhere. The shower faucets in every accommodation. These were like that. You can't adjust the strength of the water, only the temperature. So here, if I turn it, it stops like this. But the water comes out with the same strength the whole time. And this turning only adjusts the temperature. So if I open it, here it's cold, and here it's the hottest. And not just for people, but there's also a pond here for the dogs. Here in the warm climate states I've visited, they don't install drinking water connections and water meters in water meter pits, but rather above ground, simply in front of the houses. Often they put a small bypass branch on the thick pipe for the fire suppression system, which they use to measure the normal consumption. Well, I don't think that would be accepted here in Europe. The diameter of these large pipes is quite small. Also, the connection of houses and apartments in narrower streets, which sinks into the sidewalk. It's done in a way that the water meter is located in a small pit, but they don't need to be buried as deep as they do back home due to the risk of freezing. The valves found on the urinals are also large, robust, surface-mounted, and have a diaphragm design. The plugs are of the American type. I need a converter for them, and they spark quite often when plugged in or unplugged. These were the interesting aspects of building services. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and starting tomorrow, the travel stories will continue. Hi there!